In this video, I'm going to talk about how to use EFT to heal feelings of low self-esteem and self-worth so you can feel wonderful about yourself when you meet your amazing soulmate. My name is Stefan Gonik. I'm an expert EFT practitioner and founder of the Soulmate Attraction Academy from singletosoulmate.me, and this is Love Talk Q&A. Now, when I'm working with clients to help them clear their blocks to finding their soulmate, I'll do an exercise where I'll have them imagine all the things they're looking for in their ideal partner, and then imagine a person who has all those traits is standing right in front of them, smiling at them. And then I'll invite them to kind of go within and see what their reaction is. And one of the most common blocks that I encounter with most of my clients really, is, and it can be usually the first thing that will come out of their mouth, is, I don't feel good enough for somebody that amazing, right? Whatever they're imagining is this really incredible person is like, well, what would that person see in me? Or I don't feel good enough for that person. So basically what's really going on there in different ways of wording it is, I don't feel worthy of the kind of person that I really want to be with, right? The person that I view as my ideal partner or my soulmate. And that can be a really big problem, right? Because if you don't feel worthy of your soulmate, if you meet that person, then you're going to feel very insecure around that person. You might feel so bad that you can't even go there. You can't even talk to the person. Or you might, if you do talk to a person, you might be all tongue-tied or awkward or come across as needy or insecure or something. So this is a really important block to heal. And in fact, is one of the key ones that if we don't heal, is going to be a big problem. So then the question is, what caused us to have these negative feelings about ourselves, as sort of low self-esteem or low self-worth, and that can cause us to think our soulmate is actually out of our league, right? And then what can we do about it? So to start, I need to talk a little bit about human psychology so we can understand the origin or source of these negative self-feelings, right? So the first thing is, when we are very, very little, when I mean like 1, 2, 3 years old, something like that, we learn who we are based on how we're treated by our parents. Okay, if we get lots of love and attention from our parents, then we just, our very simple little brains at that age, just naturally conclude that I must be worthy of all that love and attention, right? That's how little kids think. And therefore I must be lovable, I must be good, right? Now, if we don't get enough love and attention from our parents, lots of times, unfortunately, we'll have some pretty distant parents, then the little young mind goes, well, if I'm not getting much love and attention, I must not be worthy of love and attention. There must be something wrong with me. I must not be very good. So this is the first place where it can start. At a very young age, if we're not getting enough love and attention from our parents, or even just one of them, we might get a lot of love from one parent, but very little from the other. And that would still have that same negative impact. So a second source is if we have a parent who gets angry a lot and yells at us, right? So when we get yelled at in anger, there's the thing that the parent is yelling at us about, but the underlying message of angry yelling that we're receiving from the parent is, you're not okay with me right now, right? In this sort of global way, I'm mad at you and you're not okay with me. You're like, bad kid, right? That's the energy that comes across. And if that happens regularly, even if we have relatively, reasonably loving parents, but if one of our parents gets angry a lot, then getting that message that you're not okay with me right now is going to start making us feel like, I guess I'm not really very okay, right? And that's going to have a very negative impact on self-esteem. Now, a third one is if we have a parent who tends to be critical or judgmental of us growing up, again, over and over again. When you think about it, being critical is a very direct statement of, this part of you that I'm criticizing right now is not okay with me. So anger is like, you are not okay with me. You're a bad kid, right? If a parent's being critical, they are directly saying, this part of you that I'm criticizing, that's not okay with me. Now, if it was just one thing, that'd be one thing. But usually if we have a critical parent, they're going to be criticizing lots of different things, right? So it's kind of like, this part of me is not okay, and this part of me is not okay, and this part, and this part, and this part. And after a while, it accumulates, and we start just feeling not very okay about ourselves. Okay, so these are the three most common sources of things that hurt our self-esteem. So and I mean, there can be other things too. So for instance, if you have experiences at school, you get picked on a lot, so you can have sort of very negative experiences socially with other kids at school. That can hurt our self-esteem as well. So there are other kinds of things, but the three that I mentioned are the three, most primary key sources of having a negative impact on our self-esteem. So now that we understand where this stuff came from growing up, so what do we do about it? So there's two categories of things that we can do. The first category is to heal these negative experiences that negatively impacted our self-esteem. And if we do that, we're going to start feeling less and less bad about ourselves, better and better about ourselves, right? We're going to heal the source of what made us feel bad about ourselves to begin with, and that's going to help a lot. The other kind of thing you can do is to do kind of processes that directly help boost our self-esteem, our feelings of worthiness. So these are things to help us directly feel better about ourselves. Both of these methods are good. Healing the original wounds that damaged our self-esteem and self-worth, and then doing things to help build ourselves up. Now, the order, though, is important, because if you try and go straight for the building ourselves up thing, which a lot of people do, it'll help some. This is a perfectly good thing to do. It'll help you some. But if you haven't healed some of these early, emotional wounds or negative experiences that really impacted our self-esteem, the improvement will be reduced, right? It will be limited as to how much we can feel better about ourselves. So you'll see a lot of people trying to do that through, guided imagery things or meditations or affirmations or various different things. And like I said, it helps some. What works the best, in my experience, is to start by healing these negative experiences. And that's going to help heal the source of our negative feelings about ourselves so that we'll feel better, and then we won't have these unhealed, painful places that are kind of pulling us down, right? So this alone will help a lot. Let's say your feelings of self-worth, if we're measuring a positive thing from a scale of 0 to 10, maybe, in the realm of, trying to find our soulmate, as we think about our soulmate, we might feel like a 3 out of 10 on self-worth. Like, I'm worthy of my soulmate. It's like a 3 out of 10. If we do all this healing stuff from our childhood, that 3 may go up to like a 7, which may be sufficient, actually. So lots of times that can be good enough. But then if we also bring in these positive things to help directly boost our self-esteem, then that can take you all the way to the top, to the point where you just feel really good about yourself. And not that you feel egotistical or conceited or anything like that. It's more like, I'm okay. I'm a good person. I feel good about who I am. I feel comfortable in my own skin. I'm happy to be me, right? I don't feel like I'm better than other people. I just feel good about being myself. And when you think about it, that is the single most attractive quality that we can have when we're looking for our soulmate. If you think about somebody that you've seen, we've all seen people like that. They just seem to be these people who just feel really good within themselves, comfortable in their own skins. And if you hang around a person like that, it's very appealing, and we feel drawn to that person. Whether it's a romantic connection or just a friend connection, whatever, we feel drawn to people who feel good within themselves. But romantically, if you're trying to meet somebody, that's the single best thing that you can possibly do, right? Is to address this thing where you feel your feelings of self-worth are good, right? And you feel good within yourself. So how do we heal these early experiences? Well, if you don't know how to use EFT to heal painful memories, I have another video called How to Heal Painful Memories with EFT, right? And I'll have at the end of the video, I'll have a link to it, so you can go ahead and watch that right away, so you can learn how to do that. The other thing that's really important is to understand how to address this. So one of the things you want to do when you're healing these formative, painful memories is the cool thing is you don't necessarily have to heal very many. If you think of a certain kind of experience that you had repeating over and over again, which I call a theme of experience. So let's say, like for instance, being criticized, right? So I might have gotten criticized 200 or 300 times growing up with my parent, but I don't have to heal 200 or 300 of them. All I need to do is heal a few of them, 3 or 4 maybe. And that will fully, if you heal them, well, that will take care of that whole theme of experience. So healing 3 or 4 representative memories of that theme will do it. Now you may have more than one theme, right? I may have had an emotionally distant parent as one theme, and a critical parent is another thing, and maybe an angry parent is another one, right? So you want to heal representative memories of each. And the way I pick the memories is what I call first and worst. Try and remember the youngest or first time you were treated in this negative way. Doesn't have to be the absolute youngest, but whatever the youngest one you can remember is. And then after you've healed that memory, then you want to heal the 2 or 3 worst memories of being treated that way while you're still a child, still living at home. All right. So if I'm being yelled at, what's the first time I remember being yelled at with a lot of anger? And then what are 2 or 3 of the worst times I remember being yelled at? Okay, so if you do that for each of your themes, you're going to feel a big improvement in your self-worth and self-esteem. And in terms of the positive things you can do to kind of help build yourself directly, well, there's a lot of different options for that. On YouTube, I imagine if you search around, you'll find, EFT to boost your self-esteem or something like that. You can search for that. I do have an option, which I'm hesitant to even mention because I don't want you to think this was a sale. This video is like a sales pitch or something like that. But I do happen to have an inexpensive product on my website at singletosoulmate.me called Self-Love to Soulmate, where I have a set of different processes using EFT to help directly build up your self-esteem and self-worth. But again, you can do that by itself and it will help some, but it's really important to heal these early painful experiences. That is what caused us to have negative feelings about ourselves to begin with. Now, once you do this and you end up feeling so much better about yourself, then just imagine what it's like when you meet somebody that you really like a lot and you come from a place of feeling good about yourself, feeling comfortable in your skin, and how easy and comfortable it would be to then interact with that person and start to get to know each other. It'd be pretty amazing. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, it would help me and help people on YouTube find this video. If you click on the like button, you're also welcome to subscribe to my channel to get other useful videos like this one, where I can help you with your love life. I also have on my website, singletosoulmate.me, a mini course that's free that's called The 3 Secrets to Attracting Amazing Love, that goes over the 3 key blocks to finding amazing love and how to clear them so that you can find your soulmate in the shortest time possible. Anyway, keep tapping and I'll see you on the next one.